Hi, Paul again. In this video I'm just going to cover the setting up of a Google Analytics account. Now if you've had your website designed by professional website designers, it may very well be that they've set a Google Analytics account up for you, but if they haven't, this is how you go about it. Now what you see on the screen now is google.com/analytics. That's the URL. Equally, you could use google.co.uk/analytics, or thirdly, you could just go to Google and search for Google Analytics, and you'd find your way either to here or to the UK site. Now, I'm already signed in, but if you're not, you'd need to create an account, but that's usually just an exchange of name, email, and so on. So all I need to do, because I've got a Gmail account and they recognize, Google recognizes who I am and where I'm from, all I need to do is click on Access Google Analytics and I come into my account. Now, or one of my accounts. So what you can see here is 3 account names. Now imagine that I'm a large agency and I've designed and built, say, 1,000 websites for people. I may divide the management of those analytics, the observation of how the analytics or the websites are performing and what the analytics are telling us. I might divide that up between a number of different individuals. I might have Fred's account, maybe 100 websites for him to monitor, Bill's maybe another 100, Jane's maybe another 100. But if you're just a one-man band, you're only going to need to create the one account name. So having arrived in here into Google Analytics, the first thing, this is the home page, so you go to the admin page to create a new account. Now as you can see, I've already got account names in here, so I can just if you don't have an account set up, a sub account under Google Analytics, then create one there. It's just going to be basic information, but I already have 3 accounts set up, so let's use the one called Paul's accounts. And then here it says web property. That means put the details in for the website that you want to track. So I just say create new property, and this is I'm going to be tracking the performance of a website, not a mobile app, but a website. So keep that selected. Put in a website name. This is just a reference name, so you can call it any name you want, but I'm going to call it B2B because I have a website that's not doing anything at all called b2bsocialsuccess.co.uk. So that's going to be my demonstration site in this case. So it says put in the website URL. Now it's putting the http:// in for me, so I just need to put B2B social success with the right number of C's and S's .co.uk. Select a category. Well, for me, I think that's going to be computers and electronic. Oh no, I've got more to choose from. Let's go for internet and telecom because it's about, yes, let's go for internet and telecom, because it was, if it ever got built, it was going to be a website about how to score successes using social media. Now because I've come into google.com as opposed to .co.uk, this defaults to a US time zone, so I need to change that to the UK. I can find it in this list. There we go. United Kingdom. It's putting in the right no daylight saving GMT +0 for me, and then all I need to do is say get tracking code, and here is my tracking code there. Okay, so with the tracking code in front of us, there are a number of different ways you can go. The first way is to take the code and copy it, bring it into WordPress. So here I am in the dashboard of my WordPress site, and for you to get there you would need your login details, but you assuming you've got that, you come to appearance, down to editor, and this is where all the WordPress files are edited. If you're comfortable with code, you come down to the header header.php file. Just be careful when you're selecting these files because sometimes they have similar names. So you do want this file called header with header.php written underneath it. Select that and you get the file opened in front of you. You're in an editor and you can do as much damage in here as you're comfortable with. But so Google says to place it just right before the closing head tag. So there's the opening head tag, and the closing head tag would look similar, but it would have a slash in front of it. So let's see if we can find it. There it is. And you can see I've already pasted this script in before I started, so I'm going to take that out. Actually, if you do this yourself and if you start editing these files, be sure to note where you've put the script. Okay, so if you're not comfortable in here, at least be prepared to set things right after you've made a mistake. So I'm just going to edit this out because I'm going to show you an easier way of doing it, a safer way to do it. But let's assume you did as Google instructs and put that before the closing head tag, immediately before. You would then put that script in and say update, and then after a period of 12 to 24 hours this should be working for you. And what you should see, if that's the case, if you went back to Google Analytics, you see here status tracking not installed. If you manage to successfully install that, that should then say that the tracking is working. But an alternative way of doing this, messing about with the code and inserting it into files within WordPress, is just to take the tracking code, drop it into a notepad file or similar, something that's not going to add any formatting to this, hidden formatting, and just leave it there whilst you come back into your WordPress site. Now, some WordPress sites, depending on how they're built, will make dropping codes in, tracking codes, very, very simple. There'll be a box somewhere on the site and it will say put your Google Analytics code here. But this is a very simple theme. It's one of the default themes and it doesn't make it that simple. And so from what I can see of this theme, I've actually got to follow Google's instructions and start editing files, which I don't particularly want to do, or a lot of users won't be happy to do that. So what you can do instead, you can come and install a new plugin that does everything for you. So come down to plugins and say add new. Now remember that WordPress can have dozens of plugins in theory that all add extra functionality to your site. At the moment I think this has only got one or two because it's not really a functioning site. But here I am in the plugins area, and let's do a search for a plugin called Google Analytics for WordPress. So you'll often find that there are similarly named plugins, so you've got to make sure that you get the right one. So there you are, Google Analytics for WordPress. Search for the plugins that are available and see, there it is, it's a top one, 4.5 stars. So all I've got to do now is say install now. So this is free. It's a free download, gives me extra functionality for nothing. I say activate plugin and allow tracking. It's asking me if I want to. You've just installed Google Analytics for WordPress by Yoast. Yoast is a well-known writer of plugins. Please help us to improve by allowing us to gather anonymous usage stats so we know which configurations, plugins and themes to test with. Okay, we'll let them do that. Allow tracking, particularly since this is a useless site anyway. And here is the plugin that I've just installed. If I go to settings, click here to authenticate with Google. Please authenticate with Google Analytics to retrieve your tracking code. So what I've done is I've clicked manually enter your UA code. Now in here I'm going to put that tracking code that I took from Google Analytics. That's there, Control V. That brings it back in. And then I've got to, where should your tracking be placed? In the header. That's what Google tells us. And all I need to do is update Google Analytics settings. And that's it done, that's completed. And to prove the point, all we need to do is come back to our website. It changes this header every now and then, so it is the same site. If I right click on it and select view page source, now if I do that we'll see the code behind the page. and look down. There's the plugin by Yoast. There we are. See, look, Google Analytics for WordPress by Yoast. So that's there. But then if we look further down, here is the script that Google Analytics supplies us with. You can actually see it says Google Analytics object there. That's the script that we saw on our Google Analytics page, and you can see it has put it in here just before the closing head tag. So it's done all the donkey work for us, and that's it. The last thing you might want to do at some point, although I'm sure that's going to work, is you could go back to Google Analytics, refresh this page. Now it's very unlikely that it's going to show me that it's working now. Oh, okay, it does tell me it's working now. Status, tracking installed. So that's it. Whether it will start tracking immediately, I'm not sure, because Google tells you typically have to wait 12 to 24 hours. But that's job done. I've now installed Google Analytics for this site. So I hope that's been of use. If you're uncomfortable with it, obviously ask a developer to do it for you. I could do it for you. You could approach me to do it if you have an older website and you're not currently with a developer stroke designer. Alright, okay, so I hope that's helpful to you, and I'll see you in an upcoming video.